Right, so this is a nice recipe for pancake day. So obviously the sweet pancakes are most generally had with the lemon and sugar, things like that. So we've done a sweet pancake recipe with fruit. So I thought I might do a savoury one instead. Now this again is such a good way of using up leftovers. So what we'll start by doing is we're going to cook our ingredients first, and then we're going to make our pancake mix afterwards. So we're going to do them quite thick pancakes again actually, because I think they're so tasty. So I've got a pan on the heat again. Always start with a nice warm pan. We'll get a nice heat on that. We just want a good dessert spoon of oil in there just to get our ingredients going. So I've got the bits that I have. This again is entirely up to you at home with what you have. So I'm using some spring onion only because I have. Use all of your tops with these as well. Don't cut those bits off. The little green bits, once they've been cooked down in the oil, are going to be lovely as well. So don't chuck those in the bin. If you've got any scraps of onion or anything like that, keep those for stocks, or you can compost those as well. So well worth doing. Right, so our spring onion in. Let's get a bit more heat on that. That's perfect. Right, so I've got a bit of red pepper, literally just like a small piece here. I'm just going to cut that into little cubes. These are often things you just have maybe half a pepper, half a bit of spring onion, half a bit of this. They're the kind of things that you want to be putting into these dishes. So it means that you're getting a nice sort of meal with things that you're able to use up out of the fridge. So some green pepper going in there. Again though, any pepper. If you've got a glut of peppers, you can actually get these cut down and pop them into a container and freeze them. That means that they're there, lazy to use. Same with onions, same with sweet corn, anything else that you're going to use. So into that I just want a little bit of seasoning. Not too much because we're going to use some bacon. I'm also going to use some of our dried herbs. Fantastic to use dried herbs. Don't put them in at the end of sauces and things though. Put them in at the beginning when you're sweating things down in the warm oil. It releases the lovely flavours from them, so you need to use them. They do have a best before on them, but it's just a manufacturer's guideline. Best before and used by are very different things, so you just need to judge whether you might need to use a bit more of them, or like I say, put them in with the oil. Okay, so we're just sweating these down. Let's get a bit more heat on there. We're going to slice our bacon through now, okay? So I'm just going to roll that up, cut it into nice slithers. And while this is having a good cook down, just get that fat off. I'm going to leave the fat on it because I want that to release some of it into our vegetables. It's going to be a nice flavour addition in there, so don't cut that off unless you particularly don't want it in there. Okay, so bacon in with these. I'm putting it all in together because we want to get a bit of colour on the bacon. Give that a quick move round. Nice sizzle on that. Now leave the sweet corn for a moment because that's already cooked, so there's nothing that we need to do with that. So basically we're now going to just cook those through and we're going to get on with our mix. So into a bowl I've got 150 grams of flour. Now you can use self-raising or plain, it's entirely up to you. This is self-raising in here. The self-raising will make them puff up slightly as well if you're doing some of the little mini ones that I'm going to do. Let's just spread that bacon out so it gets cooked through. Okay. So into that we're adding 1 egg. Crack the egg through. You can compost your shells if you're a composter. So we'll start mixing that through. I'm not going to add any more seasoning or anything to that because we've got plenty in the pan. So slowly we're going to add in a pint of milk. Okay, just a little bit at a time. And then we're just looking for quite a nice thick batter. Okay, keep giving that a good mix. Right. So what we're looking for is almost the very consistency of an American pancake. A little bit more. Now into this raw batter mix we can add our sweet corn, and I've also got some cheese to put in as well. So again, entirely optional. Give this a quick shake. Lovely. Nice colours in there. But if you wanted to, you can add cheese, like I say. If you've got a glut of cheese at home, if you bought maybe a multi-pack or buy one get one free or something like that, you can freeze your cheese. So cut it up into sections, pop it into the freezer. Right, so we've got a nice thick consistency there. So into that I want to add our sweet corn. It's a lovely savoury supper. Cheese, just some grated cheese. You need it to be grated so that it just melts nicely when we add the other ingredients. So that's already nice and thick as well. So into that we're going to put in our vegetable and bacon mix. So let's get those in. nice and hot. We want the pan straight back on the heat, but we're just going to reduce that slightly because we're going to put our pancakes straight into that. Lovely. Okay, right, so now we've got the warm mixture in there. We're just going to get that mixed through. Okay, incorporate it all together. This mixture at this stage, if you wanted to, afterwards, say if you've made too much mixture or you wanted to just make this in advance, you could freeze this, pop it into these containers, are fantastic. You just need to label these, either write on with a permanent marker or get some food labels to stick on the front. It just means when you come to look in your freezer, you need to be able to see what else you've got in there. So, right, we're just going to put nice dessert spoon sized little dollops into the pan. And all we're looking to do is just get a nice colour on either side. Let's pop another one in the middle. Might be pushing my luck here a bit. Let's have a go. Right then. So all these are going to start doing is bubbling up. I'm going to pop the rest of this into my container. So like I say, just make sure you label. When it comes to storing food, you need to be aware of labelling it, making sure you rotate it as well. You know, if you've bought new ingredients, pop those to the back, make sure you put the old to the front. Okay, let's have a little turn of these. So we should have a nice colour on these, slightly different to what you normally would expect with fruit ones, but just as good. So the cheese that's on the outside is going to caramelise on here, and then the cheese in the middle will just melt. This one's stuck together, we'll have to have a giant one. Perfect, so you can see the cheese is oozing out already. Let's just turn up the heat on those. Fantastic. These could then be cooked like this and frozen as well, so you have got that option too. But these would be so nice. You could do these as a side dish, to be honest, with something else that you're eating as well. Right, we're just about there. So I've got the cheese, it's oozing everywhere. It's fantastic. These are well worth a go. Some mozzarella in here would be good if you had it. Right, so that's us. This is our lovely savoury pancakes for a bit of a change on Pancake Day.
Every year in Derbyshire we waste 63,000 tonnes of food, which is a big waste for the environment, and it also costs taxpayers £6.3 million to dispose of in landfill. When food goes into landfill, it rots and produces greenhouse gases, which is really bad for the environment and can cause climate change. So we need to reduce food waste by the tips that you've got today, or use our food waste collections if we have unavoidable food waste. So things like banana peelings can go into your food waste collection.